Welcome in, everybody, to another episode of the Marketing Checklist Viewcast. We're Sharon and Hank Yuloff of Yuloff Creative Marketing Solutions. When you're looking to have your marketing, sales, and all of that stuff tweaked to a better level, we're the business coaches to call.
Yes, and on this Viewcast, you will meet and learn from successful entrepreneurs who are making it happen right now.
And here's how it works. We have already taken care of the questions. We've sent them off to our guest, David, today. He's answered them. We know what he's going to say, we think. We're pretty close. And that way you get the best information. So here's the kicker. The interview will last how long?
7 minutes, 21 seconds.
Why 7:21?
That's our wedding anniversary.
Yes, it is. So that's how we picked it. So introduce our guest today.
Today, we have David Osterczy, and he's going to tell us all about him in just a moment.
Yes, I am getting the stopwatch ready. It's under clock, right?
It is under clock.
You know, I've got my stopwatch ready. Okay, David, the clock will start after Sharon asks you the first question. You ready to go?
Yeah, I'm glad you know my answers because I don't.
That's fine. On your mark, get set, Sharon.
Keeping in mind, we only have a 3-story building. What is your elevator story?
What is my elevator story? Oh my God, my elevator story. That is a great question. I don't even, like I said, I don't remember my answers. Elevator story would be, guys, we've had a rough year. I had a pretty decent year as far as art sales. It's time for me to give back to our community by giving away all of my secrets, and then people say, well, what does that mean? What secrets are you giving away? And then I go into what we're going to talk about in a little while.
Okay. So what is your business all about?
Well, I am an artiste. That's my cohort over there, Tigress. Anytime I do a Zoom, there she is. She's right in there. This is what a artist studio looks like when almost every art show in 2020 was canceled. There's art everywhere, under my bed, under my couch. So I'm a digital impressionist. I do abstract art designs. They sell from coast to coast. And as I said earlier, it's time for me to give back to society. There's a lot of educators and people that are looking for more. They want content, they want information, they want to keep their kids involved. And I think a great way to do that is to teach them abstract art creation.
Awesome.
I am an artiste.
And so why should our listeners flock to you?
Why should they flock to me? Well, I'm funny, I'm silly, I'm engaging. They will laugh and they will learn a lot that took me decades to learn. Literally decades of working 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning with bags under my eyes trying to figure out which button do I press next in Photoshop and Paint Shop Pro and On One Photo.
So you're not going to take it too seriously?
No, not at all.
Okay.
What tips can you give to our listeners?
Be kind.
Next question.
That's the number one tip. No, seriously, be kind to everyone around you. We need it more now than ever. We got to come together as a country, seriously. I don't want to get political, but I got a lot of friends on both sides of the issue, and I usually am the one bringing them all together. Be kind.
Awesome. What's an amusing job title for what you do?
Let's see. The Wizard of Oz.
Hence the nickname.
Yes, that's the obvious one, absolutely. What are the most common questions that people ask you about your business?
Oh, that's easy. How do you do that? So I did a big contest. I did something called a Vortex, which is these swirly patterns that people really, really love. And I put one a day up on Facebook and Instagram. And I said, okay, guys, name it. And it started out with 30, 40 comments, went to 80, 100, 150, 200. And the one person that would give me the best name would win. And at the end of the contest, and all during the contest, people were saying, how do you do that? How do you do that? How do you do that? And that was the question, how I do that. Well, do you guys really want to learn how I do that? And a lot of answers came back, well, yeah, that's why we asked that question. So that's the number one question I get asked. How do you do that?
Cool.
That's a great sales funnel. It just leads right into, you can take my course.
What was the most unexpected thing that you ever encountered in your business?
The most unexpected thing I ever encountered. 2020.
Oh, totally agree with you.
Yes.
Absolutely.
One word.
agree with you.
One word. Had to pivot. I mean, I had 20 shows booked. 2020 was going to be the year for my business. Home shows, Comic-Cons all over the place, art strolls, art fairs, all of them canceled. I did 2 shows last year, made a total of about $500 in person, but online, which is why I had to pivot, between website and Facebook and Instagram, sales were decent. I mean, it paid the bills. I didn't make $1 million, but it paid the bills.
Yeah, we had a lot of paid speaking gigs that disappeared.
Yep.
And thus this.
Yep.
Absolutely. What's your favorite business tool?
Favorite business tool? Oh my God, there's so many, but I would have to say for creation, for my art, that would be Adobe Photoshop. That would be the number one. Obviously, my autoresponder and so many other things. And, I could name all the trainings that I've done this year, but for just a tool, it would have to be Adobe Photoshop, Creative Suites.
Cool.
Okay. What's a 4-letter word that best describes your business?
I have to behave here, right?
Yes.
Love.
Remember,
L-O-V.
it's supposed to promote you.
Love.
Yes. That goes well with your kindness. Well done. What is it about your business that makes you the happiest?
I think that's kind of easy. And this is especially when I sell locally. Delivering a piece of art to someone's home and picking the spot on the wall they're going to hang it and taking a photo with them with the art.
Oh.
That is probably one of my proudest moments. It's something I love doing. Shipping all over the country, that doesn't get done. And sometimes people forget to take a picture with themselves. But yeah, that's got to be so cool. I actually just posted one on Instagram a few days ago. This girl is just holding a huge piece in front of her, made to look even bigger because it's in front of her. And yeah, it took us an hour to figure out where she was going to put it on her wall, but she got just the right spot. And yeah, that's, as an artist, that's our proud moment.
I'm gonna extend our time here because I have a couple of questions. So when you send someone art, you include in the investment in the art some time with you to get it put in the right place in their home.
Yes.
And that would include their office as well.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, people will do live tours with me on their phone, on Facebook or whatever, and show me their house. And I'm like, no, the lighting's not good over there. That corner's too dark. You'll have to go out and buy lights. There's the spot. Okay. And it's not as much fun doing it over the phone, but I've done hundreds of videos with people this year, going through boxes of prints and signed and numbered matted prints, and sold hundreds of them that way. Just that little personal touch. I mean, we all love that personal touch, and for me, that's the touch I want to give my clients, not just selling them a piece of art.
The marketing tip I'm going to give you here, again, we're extending your time because we're talking. I would, to make sure that you get that photo, I would figure out something that you can give them for free as soon as you get that photo back. Or as soon as you get that video back from them saying how much they love the piece, that's an even more powerful testimonial for you. Maybe say, look, it's X dollars to ship this to you, and I'll refund half of that when I get the video from you that says thanks and shows everybody where it is.
Or an additional print, which is what people seem to want.
Yeah, and that's awesome as well. The bonus added is always better than price discount. So there we go.
I agree, and I'd say probably all the art that I've sold this year and all the art that I've given away. I've given away hundreds of pieces of art last year in all the contests I ran. I'd say probably a third of the people actually do what I request and either shoot a photo of themselves or film a video. not half, not 2/3. I wish it were all of them. It would be great. I'd have enough testimonials for years to come. But people forget.
Yeah.
They love the art, but they forget.
Do you include a reminder when you ship the piece? Is there?
I do. They get a certificate of authenticity on the back of the art, signed and numbered, okay, with a note, please shoot a video or a photo of yourself hanging the art. And, you know, I've had clients, business partners that have said, I'll get around to it, and they just don't. And, you know, you can only push people so far. So, yeah, I like your idea of if you do this, you'll get that. It's pretty cool.
And you know, printed on some bright cardstock, like yellow cardstock, or, you know, with a, you know, black ink, yellow cardstock, kind of like that traffic signs.
Yep. Stop. Before you open this package, it's a good idea.
So anyway, there's the share point. So what did you learn in nursery school that helps you most in your business today?
I don't even remember nursery school. I was too young.
Okay. So on the other side, what is the number one fantasy lead? Somebody is watching this. What's the fantasy lead you could receive by somebody watching this?
You know what? I'll have to go with 2 on that. The fantasy lead for selling my art, okay, and hanging it in beautiful homes is an interior decorator or interior designer who deals with high net worth clients. Somebody that has a very trusted clientele that says, I want you to come into my house, and when I come back in there, because I'm leaving for 2 months to go to Europe, you know, I want it beautiful and perfect. I want great art that no one else has. That is my dream lead for selling art. For teaching it, I would have to say educators. You know, educators that know that kids are going to be home for another 4, 5, 6 months and are desperate for content to keep them engaged. So those are my 2 dream leads.
Awesome.
I think we've got a couple of leads that we can share with you offline.
That would be super cool.
There was somebody we were talking to the other day that I think you guys should be connected with. How did you know that art was going to be your calling?
I didn't. Funny thing. I went to the #1 music and art high school in the entire country, music and art in New York City, before it moved to Lincoln Center, and I was a musician. You know, I was trained as a vocalist and a pianist. And so, of course, with a classical music background, the following year, I joined a punk rock band and stood on the stage at CBGB's many Friday nights backing up the Ramones and Patti Smith.
Wow.
But no, I got a lot of stories around that, let me tell you. Stories I cannot tell publicly. Stuff happens.
Ones are dead. You can share those stories.
It's okay, but 1980, I took a job in Manhattan, walked into a store on 42nd Street to buy a Sony Walkman, and walked out with a Canon AE1 camera. And I just started shooting. And, you know, 2000, 2001, 2002, when digital came in and I didn't have to deal with film anymore, absolutely my life changed in so many ways. I owned a photo studio for 17 years, shooting children, family portraits, weddings. And when Photoshop came in, I had Photoshop Elements 9, which like is next to nothing. And I pressed a couple of buttons and said, I can do that with this photo.
Yeah, that's a 7-hour darkroom deal.
Oh my God. You know, so for 20 years now, almost on Photoshop, I have learned a whole lot. I'm not an expert by any means, but I know things that very few people know how to do in Photoshop, and it's so cool.
You know, it's interesting. The AE1, that was the equivalent of the Nikon FE, and I've still got mine. That was a bulletproof camera. Took a licking and just kept on shooting. That's still a great film camera.
You have no idea how many times I dropped that thing down hills rolling and picked it up, and it still shot perfect.
I can assume I had the story for mine is I was switching out rolls of film next to the ocean, and a wave hit and covered. It was on a cruise ship, and it was horrible, but it worked. The camera kept working, so I totally get that. So if someone's listening and they like a joint venture, what describes your ideal partner for trading leads?
You know, I've been asked that question on every interview I've done over the last couple of months, and my answer is pretty much the same. At the moment, I'm not really looking for joint ventures because first I have to prove that I could bring in the leads, okay? This is a pilot program that I'm launching at the end of January where the people there are going to be teaching me what they want moving forward in paid programs. And then I launch my paid program. And then when the paid program completes and I now have a much bigger list and I have clients talking about me, you know, for the next paid program after that, that is when I'll be looking around for joint partnerships and JV partners. Up until then, you know, JV partners are looking for someone that can prove that they could bring in leads for them as well. So I don't have a really intelligent answer to that question other than stand by.
So here's what we're going to do. Because this video lives on YouTube and it lives on our website as well, when you have the joint venture partners, let us know what they are. We'll update the description of this video.
Okay.
Is that fair?
That's fair.
Cool. We can do that. And now, last question on our side. What offer do you want to give your listeners now so they can begin a conversation with you? What's the best way to do that?
Now we're getting to the point. Okay. So on January 28th, which is a Thursday at 5 p.m. Mountain Time, so that's 7 p.m. New York time, 4 p.m. LA time.
Yeah.
I will be launching my pilot program in abstract digital art technology. In other words, I will be showing you how with a camera or even a cell phone, upload those photos to your computer, make sure you have Photoshop, and I will show you multiple ways to create beautiful, beautiful abstract art creations. That'll be on the 28th, which is a Thursday, the 30th, which is Saturday, and the 31st, which is a Sunday. Why that weekend? Because that's the weekend between the NFL Championship and the Super Bowl. Nobody watches the Pro Bowl. Everyone's looking for something to do that weekend. Well, if you're looking for something to do that weekend at 3 p.m. Mountain, which is 5 p.m. New York, and 2 p.m. Pacific, join us. Join us for our course. You can go to ozfineart.com, ozfineartstudio.com, and just sign up for our newsletter, and we'll put you in our autoresponder. You'll get all the information on the course. Or I can send you guys a link and you can go immediately into an autoresponder and immediately see the dates, the times, and how to log into the course. Oh, and it's all going to be live on Zoom. Everyone will participate. Everyone will be creating live art on that Zoom for 2.5 hours for 3 days. It's going to be a blast.
You are recording those sessions, right?
I will record it, and then I have to talk to some smart friends who are way smarter than me to figure out how I could put those recordings out down the road.
Well,
I have no clue right now. This is that's why this is a pilot program. I'm learning.
So if you're watching this is the some teaching part. You want to have the recordings a couple of reasons. One, better to have it and not need it than need it and not have it.
Yes. Two,
that this could become the basis of another product that you're selling. It's the live version. Just like our we were every third set of our small business breakthrough boot camps, we record them. Yeah, we have our professional videographer come in and do it because we teach different stuff, and what you teach upgrades. But it can be what you're teaching in January can become a course unto itself.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Yuloff, I watch Gary V, and he goes, content.
Yes.
Put it here, put it there, put it there, put it here, do it there. Yes. Repurpose it over and over and over again. So I got it.
Absolutely.
Yep, that's what we're going to do. So give us that website slower.
ozfineartstudio.com.
So it's OZ, right, as Wizard of, Fine Studio Art.
No.
You're such a wise guy. That's why I love you. ozfineartstudio.com.
Awesome. And if you're watching, that link is in the description of this video. So you can, in fact, either on our website, both on our website, and if you're watching on YouTube, that link is right with the description of this video, so you can connect with Oz. Whether it's immediately or you're watching this later on, he will have some great programs waiting there for you. So there we go. So you've done your first viewcast. How did it feel, David?
Oh, it's beautiful. I love interviews. I love, schmoozing around with people and, and showing my messy studio. It's all good.
Awesome. So take us home.
Awesome. So go connect with Oz and make sure you connect with us at Free Marketing Consultation.
Yep. You get a free 30-minute success call where, we talk about some of the things kind of like we did with David a little bit, but we'll help you market your business better. Most people report back that was worth either $10,000 in savings over stuff they were doing they don't have to do anymore, or in increased sales.
And if you want to be on the Viewcast as well, then just let us know when you schedule your time at freemarketingconsultation.com.
So thanks for watching. We'll see you next time, everybody.